Fred Trump being molded into a German nationalist by his Germanophile father, Frederick, was likely one reason Donald Trump's father was attracted to the Ku Klux Klan in Queens. On Memorial Day in 1927, Fred was arrested by police during a KKK demonstration at the annual Memorial Day Parade, which was to honor America's military fallen, including in what was then known as the Great War and the War to End All Wars. Local newspapers, the New York Times not among them, described the Klansmen arrested, including Fred, as being be-robed in the hood and gown attire of the Ku Klux Klan. In 1927, Adolf Hitler, the then leader of the increasingly powerful Nazi Party, began to look for potential allies in the West. Although Nazi-like parties were still embryonic in the United States, Hitler saw the Klan as one suitable ally. Klan leaders like eugenicist Lothrop Stoddard and his theories on a racial hierarchy centered on the Nordic race being superior to all others caught Hitler's eye. While Hitler believed the Klan costumes of robes and hoods to be ridiculous and quite impractical, unlike the uniforms of the regimented paramilitary brown shirt stormtroopers and black shirt SS, Schutzstaffel, or protection squads of the Nazi Party, the symbolic burning of crosses and writings and statements of Klan leaders like Stoddard, Grand Dragon of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey Samuel Stauch, and pro-Nazi Klan officials like Philip Allen, Arthur Bell, and Paul Winter resulted in Hitler recognizing the Klan as natural allies of the Nazis in America. In fact, the information collected by Hitler's envoys dispatched to the United States to study the vigilante violence committed by the Klan and the Knights of the White Camellia against blacks in the South resulted in the Nazis adopting similar tactics against Germany's Jews. The same year Fred Trump was marching in Queens in Ku Klux Klan attire, a KKK-themed group began in Germany. Known as the Knights of the Fiery Cross, the German Klan spread throughout the Reich. Ultimately, the Knights of the Fiery Cross were absorbed into the Nazi Party. Klan chapters and members in the American North and Midwest would also morph into such Nazi-aligned organizations as the Friends of the New Germany, its successor the German-American Bund, the Fascist Silver Shirts, and the Order of 76, an anti-New Deal pro-Nazi organization that supported a whites-only America. Such Germanic groups were all more to the liking of Nazi Germany and its supporters in places like New York and Chicago. It defies logic that someone like Fred Trump, who insisted on speaking only German around his Jamaica estates house and was documented as being a member of the pro-Nazi Ku Klux Klan chapter in Queens in 1927, would not have met Wilhelm Lonkowski, who only lived 3 miles away in the neighboring community of Queens Village. Lonkowski, known as Willie to his friends, was the Abwehr's top spy in the United States. Code-named Agent Sex, a derivation from William Sexton, one of his many aliases that included the German passport identity of William Schneider. Occupation: piano tuner. Lonkowski ran a network of German Americans, positioned in some of America's top military factories, to act as spies for Nazi Germany. The fact that Fred Trump was so eager to respond to the U.S. Navy's bid for a construction contractor to build barracks and other housing for U.S. Navy ports up and down the eastern seaboard raises significant questions about why a racist Germanophile like Fred would want to assist in the war effort against Germany, the nation so much admired by his father. The answer to that question is simple. Fred Trump, like hundreds if not thousands of others like him, was covertly helping the cause of Germany. The chief of naval intelligence gathering for the Abwehr was Eric Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer ran a network of agents that may have included Fred Trump to spy on the U.S. Navy and its contractors. As it turned out, Fred happened to be one of those contractors. Navy port facilities served as prime locations for ship construction and later, troop ship deployment. This information was critical for the German war effort. In 1927, the year Fred Trump was marching with the Klan in Queens, the Abwehr chief, Fritz Jemp, dispatched Lonkowski to the United States to identify cooperative German Americans and place them in positions to help Germany rebuild its military, which was a violation of the terms of the Versailles Treaty. In addition to Abwehr agents in New York City, Manhattan was also the headquarters for the Gestapo's American operations with Carl Friedrich Wilhelm Willie, Herman in charge of all Gestapo activities in the United States. Fred Trump's housing construction activities were centered in locations like Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, Chester, Pennsylvania on the Delaware River, and Norfolk, Newport News, and Hampton Roads on the Chesapeake Bay. Monkowski's spying targets were in these same areas. They included the Seversky Aircraft Corporation in Langley Field in Virginia. Monkowski's main task was to gather blueprints, drawings, notes, and other technical information on America's military aircraft, armored vehicles, Navy ships including destroyers and the aircraft carriers Yorktown and Enterprise being built in Newport News, anti-aircraft guns, and other armaments from a vast network of U.S. citizens, native-born and naturalized, and permanent residents of German descent. Many of these agents were German veterans of World War I who emigrated to the United States after the war. These German Americans were proud sellouts of America. They included active duty members of the Army and Navy. These included top Abwehr spy doctor Ignaz Griebel, a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserve Medical Corps, and U.S. Army deserter Gunther Gustav Maria Rumrich. Many of the U.S. military turncoats had technical skills in engineering and other trades that gave them access to a motherlode of America's military technology and plans. Sex's agents were placed at Ireland Aircraft Corporation, a seaplane manufacturer, at Curtis Field in Hempstead, Long Island, Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation at Roosevelt Field in Westbury, Long Island, Fairchild Aviation in Farmingdale, Long Island, Curtis Airplane Company in Buffalo, New York, Hall Aluminum Aircraft Corporation and its Fleetwing Aircraft Factory on the Delaware River in Bristol, Pennsylvania, Westinghouse Electric in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Douglas Aircraft at Clover Field in Santa Monica, California. Monkowski would hand off his cache of American military secrets to Abwehr agents, posing as stewards, on board German passenger ships of the Hamburg American and North German Lloyd lines that provided service between Hudson River piers and Hamburg and Bremerhaven. The ships were the preferred method of the Abwehr and Gestapo to smuggle agents into and sensitive and classified documents out of the United States. The lack of information on Frederick and Fred Trump, seniors' respective pro-German activities in the First and Second World Wars, is due to a number of factors. The U.S. Department of Justice and later, the Federal Bureau of Investigation under J. Edgar Hoover were more concerned about the activities of the Reds and leftist anarchists than they were of German Americans and newly landed immigrants from Germany. The Trump Organization hired a family member to act as the official historian, make that censor, for the Trump family history going back to the time of Frederick. There has also been a reluctance by historians and journalists to paint the Trump family with the accusation it richly deserves, that Frederick, Fred, Sr., and Donald represent three generations who were willing to sell out their nation. The first two to Germany and the third to Russia. And given the odds, it appears that a fourth generation is willing to sell out their nation to the highest bidder, be it Russia, China, or Saudi Arabia.